Okay, how are you feeling about 2024? Are you feeling like you're on fire? You feel like you're nailing it, you're lit up, you're like reaching those goals, you're absolutely killing it, you're completely flowing, it's all happening for you, you're dedicated, you're devoted, you're feeling productive? Or are you maybe feeling like you just haven't been able to get it going yet? You just feel like there's something still blocking you and getting in the way of you creating that life that you truly deserve and desire? Do you feel like even though you're doing the things, you're showing up, you're taking the action, there's just still something that's stopping you? Do you feel like you know what it is you want to create, and maybe you even have the vehicle to create it, but for some reason there's just something that is stopping you from being able to take that perfectly imperfect action, to turn that vision into reality? Well, if you are feeling like that, no worries at all, because I'm so excited to share with you that I have just released my 3-month program, Activate 10x. This is a program that I have run live in the past, and I have decided to turn it into a self-paced program that you can tap into at any time to help you create 10x more in your life. More confidence, more happiness, more love, more success, more clarity. Like, imagine if you could have more fun, create better boundaries and advocate for yourself, make more money, build better relationships, know your worth, take more risks, put yourself out there, go after what you want, be the leader you know you can be, nourish yourself, right? And fully support yourself at the same time. What would life look like for you if you could activate 10x more of that? And that is exactly what this program is for. This program is for you if, you're tired of asking for permission or waiting for someone to come and save you. You're tired of looking for validation from outside of yourself. You know that you have everything you need within you now. If you could just step out of the shadows and tap into it. This is for you if, you're paralyzed constantly by procrastination or avoidance anxiety. This is for you if you just have this rocket of desire to create a life you are proud of and you finally feel ready to take the action to do it. This is for you if you're ready to build yourself back up and become the best woman out there. Or if you're ready to activate your courage and build unstoppable confidence. So if any of that sounds like what you are looking for in the last quarter of 2024, there is never a better time than spring, right? To reconnect with our goals for the year and that vision we have for ourselves and our life, to rise strong. This program is for you. So by signing up for this program, it's completely self-paced, self-directed learning. Take your time. You'll get access to 12 powerful trainings that cover transformational tools that you need to activate your courage and build unstoppable confidence. You'll get access to activations, audios, and templates to support your growth. You'll get access to a workbook to support your learning throughout each phase of the program. And also you'll receive exclusive opportunities to access my ongoing support via my other coaching programs and packages. So if you have been looking for something to give you that spring energy, that spring vibe, that spring cleaning, or maybe just that loving kick up the butt to go out there and take the action you know you need to take, or to find a way to take action that feels true and correct and supportive for you, then you definitely want to head to the show notes and check out my 12-week program, Activate 10x, that you can now access in your own time via your very own members portal. All right, enjoy the episode. Are you ready to find your voice, fulfill your purpose, build unstoppable confidence? And are you ready to learn how to trust, accept, and love yourself enough to do the work to create what you want in life? Oh, and do you want to learn how to do it without burning yourself out, sacrificing what matters most, or compromising on your values? Then you're in the right place. I'm your host, Crystal Stanton, a certified coach, human design enthusiast, entrepreneur, and podcast host on a mission to guide women into their true, authentic success, to help them recognize their power and to step out from the shadows and into the woman they were always meant to be. Around here, we don't do grey, unaligned versions of our life. We don't settle for what we should be happy with. Around here, we do big, bold, courageous, fulfilled, rich lives, and we do it in an aligned, nourished, and truly authentic way. If that sounds like the life you want, then stick around and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you never miss an episode. Okay, everybody, welcome to another episode. Today it is just me, and I'm jumping in today to talk about something that is really, really important if you are a part of the authentic success movement, right? If you are one of those women who is ready to claim the woman she's always meant to be, who is ready to, build something of your own, whether it's a business or a movement or a career or whatever it is you're building, your family, and you're really ready to step up and into that big, bold, courageous life, right? That one that you truly deserve and desire, that one that's been secretly on your heart always, and you're ready to claim it. And that key piece that I want to share with you today is around rejection. Ooh, how does your body feel when you hear that word, right? Like, really just put your hand on your heart and your hand on your belly and just take a deep breath. And really feel how your body responds to the word rejection. Ugh. How do you feel? Does it make you want to vomit? Does it make your stomach drop out from underneath you? Does it make you want to close up and hide? Does it make you want to cry? Right? Does it bring back a flood of memories from childhood or teenage years or God or dating life? Or in your business, are you currently experiencing rejection as you build your business or your brand or your podcast or your YouTube episodes or whatever it is that you're creating? Are you currently experiencing rejection in a really negative way? Now, I'm sure everyone is saying yes, right? Because that is how we have come to learn to respond to rejection, right? We've learned that rejection is a bad thing because if you are rejected, then we usually make it mean, right? Listen to the language I'm using. We make it mean that there's something wrong with us, that we're not desirable, that we're not enough, right? That we're not successful. If we are rejected, then it means someone doesn't desire us, or it means someone doesn't want to work with us, or it could mean that we failed completely, right? In some way, we bring it back to ourself. We take it really personally, and we always end up tying it to one of our faulty or unresourceful core beliefs that we have. Things like, I'm not enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable, right? Those unresourceful core beliefs that really trip us up. Okay, they're the things that keep us stuck in place. And rejection can be such a huge trigger for those unresourceful core beliefs. Now, I want to share that I'm exactly the same, right? I am exactly the same, or have been. And the reason why I wanted to jump on today and record this episode was because recently I have been a part of a container, like a program, which is all around the energetics of your business, but also all around the healing that you need to do and your relationship with money, so that you can take your business to the next level. It's how to bring your business sort of out of strategy and more into soul guidance, right? Spirit guidance, and also into the body and the healing work that needs to be done. Now, the healing session I participated in a few days ago was all around rejection. Rejection was coming up very strongly in the group as a key theme that was holding us back or causing, conflict in all of us in our different endeavors. And the healing was phenomenal. And the biggest takeaway I received, apart from the actual energetic healing of the wounds themselves, the past life wounds and the child wounds around rejection, was the new understanding of rejection, which is rejection is neutral. The actual physical act of rejection, of being rejected or rejecting something else, is totally neutral. We add all of the emotion on top of it, right? So rejection is neutral. The other incredible shift in perspective that I received, because remember, shifting our perspective is one of the key ways that we overcome our avoidance and we overcome our unresourceful core beliefs to be able to keep moving forward. So a key perspective shift that I received in this session, in this healing session, was that rejection is actually an incredibly positive and important experience to have, especially if you are building your own business, your own brand, you're on your own specific soul mission, right? Because rejection is purely how the universe helps us realign. That's it. If you think about it, rejection is just how the universe helps us to figure out what is aligned for us and what is not. And it has nothing to do with us as a person. It is not about us at all. And this is what I really want you to take away from this episode today. If you take away anything at all, what I want you to take away from this episode most is this understanding that rejection is neutral. It doesn't mean anything about you as a person. And it's actually helping you to stay aligned to what you're actually here for, your purpose, your mission, your true authentic self, right? Your unique energetic blueprint, your soul work. That is what rejection helps us to do. I loved that. I absolutely loved that piece. Now, I also want to share that's easier said than done, right? So we need to help ourselves shift our perspective around rejection and come home to that new understanding. And you may need to do some subconscious belief work around that, some affirmations. You may need to do some embodiment work to bring it in. You may need to do an actual physical healing around rejection first. But then what we need to do is start practicing. Everything I ever share with you is about frequency of repetition, right? None of the concepts I share with you, none of the tools I share with you on this podcast or in any of my spaces or programs or containers happen without the frequency of repetition. Everything is about the frequency of repetition. There is nothing that is a once and done, right? Even if you do healing work, there is then activities, there are then tools, there are then processes that we and habits that we need to be repeating frequently to actually create change in our life, right? And we know we talk about all the time on this podcast and on my socials and everywhere you find me about this idea that you have to take imperfect action, right? That's like the bridge between the work, the inner work that we do, the healing work that we do, the manifestation tools, right? The embodiment tools, all of that stuff, the goal that we have or what it is we're trying to create or our mission, the bridge between those two, right? Like that future potential you're calling in where you are now and it actually manifesting is taking the imperfect action, is the frequency of repetition in which we do these things. So rejection is exactly the same. So what we need to start practicing around rejection is how we choose to respond when we experience it. Okay? So what I want you to do is the next time you experience any kind of rejection, okay, and hopefully we can start with small things, right, that don't necessarily fully trigger us into those unresourceful beliefs and send us into a tailspin. Hopefully, we can practice with smaller, little examples of rejection. But I want you to practice accepting that rejection. I just accept it. Okay, don't fight it. Don't resist it. Just accept it. Okay, I can accept that rejection. Thank you. I want you to thank the rejection. I want you to be grateful for it. I want you to say, thank you, rejection, for showing me what is no longer aligned for me, or what is not aligned for me, or was never aligned for me, right? This might be in relationships. This might be, in opportunities that you've applied for. This might be in your career advancement. This might be in clients saying no. This might be, and it's not only people rejecting you that you need to practice rejection with, right? And being okay with rejection. You also need to practice and being okay with rejecting others and other opportunities, right? Because everything is about being aligned to our true authentic success, our path, our mission, what we are here for, what is aligned for us. So rejection is a key part of keeping within that alignment. So I want you to practice accepting the rejection or giving the rejection and being grateful for it. Okay? Now, I'm going to share a very specific example of how I chose to practice this myself, because you know me, I always like to just dive in, right? If I'm going to do something, just dive all the way in the deep end, like take it all on. It's like when I first decided, I want to learn more about like the spiritual world and my spiritual gifts. And I was like, okay, all of them, activate all of them. Let's go. Akashic record readings, amazing, ancestral, past life wounding healings. Let's do it all. Bring it on. Just like completely overload my nervous system because I just want to experience it all. I want to go headfirst, full human potential. Thank you, ManiGen 6-2 life, right? And sometimes that gets me into trouble because sometimes I bite off a little bit more than I'm probably ready to chew, which I did with this specific example. So as I was going through this healing process, this energetic work around rejection, before it was even mentioned through the process, I realized, I reject myself a lot. And I have been, and we all do, because we're so scared of being rejected by others that we start to reject parts of ourselves that don't align with those people we don't want to be rejected by, or those opportunities we don't want to be rejected by, right? So I was like, man, I reject myself. I do spend a lot of time rejecting parts of myself. And we did some parts integration work. That part came out and we had a good old chat about it. And, we worked together through that. And one of the biggest pieces of myself that I have been rejecting is my central spiritual self. Rejecting that a lot, because I do have quite strong abilities, spiritual abilities. I'm slightly clairaudient, slightly clairvoyant. I do have clients that I do energetic channeling work for within their business. I can channel my own light language. It is a gift that I, activated about a year ago, and I can do that, but I don't share it because I am terrified of being rejected for sharing it. So therefore, I reject that part of myself. So I was like, right, no more. I'm not rejecting that part of myself anymore. And as I was doing this beautiful, healing, energetic session, my light language was coming through very strongly. So my light language was doing some healing work for me. And I was like, oh, this is so beautiful. It feels so yummy. And it was all around helping to heal that rejection and then tapping you back into the wealth that you are just your divine birthright, the amount of wealth and abundance that you are just divinely meant to have, your birthright for just being born as you with the mission you're here to achieve. And so I took a little video of it because I was like, oh, that feels so good. It was just, it was next level from anything I'd shared before. It was words, and it was also tones, and there was also some hand movements, and it was really, really special. And I shared it with my soul sisters, Anya and Siobhan, who, are my activated angels. They come onto the podcast every now and again, and we want to do that more regularly for you all. They are my spirit gurus, well, not my gurus because we're all our own guru, but they are definitely guides for me. And they do a lot of the energetic work inside my Activated Woman Mastermind. So I shared it with them and I was like, I'm going to share this. I'm going to share this somewhere. Because I don't want to reject this part of myself anymore. Now, I wasn't quite ready to just share it publicly on my straight up socials. Um, I don't know if I will. I'm still undecided. I still feel like there's a lot of value in that specific gift being kept for my sacred spaces. But that may change. That may just be my fear still talking, and that may change in the future. But I was like, but I do want to share this somewhere more public. So I chose to share it within a conscious community group that I'm a member of because I felt that of all the groups I'm part of, that would probably be the safest because it's a conscious community. And I have heard other people share their light language and their other gifts inside this group before and their offerings. So I was like, okay, I'm going to share it there. And with no call to action, no, I wasn't asking for anything or selling anything. I just wanted to activate my courage and share this gift. So I did. And I felt really fucking good about it. I was like, fucking go, queen, go. Like, look at you being in integrity. I talk all the time about taking imperfect action and being authentic and the courage, right, to take that big, bold, courageous action. So I was like, righto, let's do it. Put your money where your mouth is, walk the talk, talk the walk, whatever it is. All those things, right? All those things. So it felt really, really good. And then the next morning, I opened my phone and had a really horrible comment. Someone had left a really, really, really horrible comment on my video. I don't feel like you really need to know the details, but it was just really negative, and it was all their own projection, right? It was all their own trigger, and I understand that, but it was specifically directed at me and my person. So a lot of my core values were triggered, my of integrity and honesty were triggered. I was labeled a narcissist and yeah, a bunch of other stuff. And that hit me really hard because I was like, oh my God, see, this is why I don't share it. This is why I reject this part of myself, because as soon as I put it out there, I get slammed. And it's happened before where I've shared, different aspects of spirituality and Akashic records, and the comments are just like, particularly on YouTube, because I guess it's a broader audience, they're just like, not nice. And so, yeah, it triggered me. It triggered me a lot. It sent me into a spiral. I did some crying about it. And I was like, I was still aware enough to be like, okay, like I understand what I need to do here, but I'm also going to let myself sit in this feeling because that's okay too. I'm allowed to have these feelings because I'm not doing it unconsciously. I'm not letting this drive the bus, this trigger and this fear drive the bus, but I am going to sit in this feeling of fucking hell. Like, seriously, this is everything I've said to myself, these comments, this is why I don't share it. And as soon as I put it out there, here it is to just punch me in the fucking gut, right? And make all of the self-doubt I have about that part of me come back up. So I did the crying, and then I chose to go about my day and go and just be present. I was like, okay, I'm going to work really consciously to put this down now. And I reached out to my angels, Siobhan and Anya, and I shared it with them. And obviously I sent it to Brent. I was like, see, this is why I reject myself. And then I went and had a great day with my babes. We went swimming. We caught up with some really, really wonderful friends for lunch. And it was a great day. And I felt incredible. By the time I got home, I was like, I was back to me, right? I was back in my authentic self. And I felt great. And I was able to then obviously I'd had all the feedback from everyone, like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. This is that person's, this is their own shit they're projecting onto you, like, and which when I first said, I was like, yeah, but I still don't like it. I was still in the me, in the woes me, in the victim part of it, right? But by the end of the day, I was able to be like, yeah, it's okay. It's okay because, when we are triggered, quite often we're triggered by something that we think, feel, or believe about ourselves anyway. And that's exactly what this comment was. It was my own fears, my own doubts about these spiritual gifts that I had. And I was like, okay, cool. Thank you, universe, for like bringing that up for me to work through, right? It was an opportunity for me to work through that. Also, obviously, that particular person is definitely not aligned for me. Not someone who is ever going to be my person to support, to guide, to work with, to inspire, ever. Never going to be my person. And this is another big takeaway. Everyone really needs to find a way for this to land for you, because we spend so much time repressing ourselves. We spend so much time taking away our own voice, right? And becoming voiceless and not sharing our truth and not finding our voice because we're so scared of what other people are going to think, right? The fact is that the people that don't gel with that don't agree, that are like, what the fuck, that's nuts, or whatever it is they say, they were never going to be your people to work with in the first place. The people that say no, they were never your people in the first place. They just weren't. Not everyone is for you, boo, right? They were never going to be your person. But we're so scared of the people who are never going to come into our world and are never meant to work with us and are never meant to, be take advantage of our magic or whatever it is that you do, whatever work that you do. They were never meant. They're not aligned for you. They are not your soulmate client or team member or friend or partner, right? Or opportunity or career. We're so worried about them that we say nothing, and then the people that are actually meant to find us can't find us because we don't share our truth. We don't be authentic. And so this is why stepping into our courage and sharing these aspects of us, or putting ourselves in these situations where we may experience rejection, are so important, because they help us figure out what's aligned and what's not. They help us bring up the parts of us or the faulty core beliefs that we need to be healing and working through. And they help us like fucking build confidence, right? Because confidence isn't an innate skill. Confidence is developed. It's a muscle that we build, and we build it through courage, and we build it through fucking trusting ourselves. You will never have confidence if you don't trust yourself. You will never feel confident if you do not trust yourself. If you cannot trust yourself to take the action, to do the work, to implement the transformation, right, that you desire, that has been shared with you by others, right? If you can't trust yourself to do it, you're never going to feel confident. And the only way you can build that confidence is by trusting yourself to have the courage to fucking get in the arena, to take imperfect action, to get off the sidelines, to have skin in the game, whatever words work for you, right? Whatever works for you. Trusting yourself to have the courage to take the action, that's how you build confidence. You build confidence by doing it even though you know you're going to get rejected. Even though you know you're going to fuck it up. Even though you know you're going to look like you have no idea what you're doing the first time, the first 10 times, the first 100 times. Even though you know you're going to make mistakes. And every time you do that, that's where we actually build confidence, and then competence comes from that, right? And the trust in ourselves, right? The trust foundation gets built. So, I'm going to have a drink of water. I'm going to wrap this bad boy up. What I want you to do is really work through your relationship with rejection. think about, go in, if you know how to do your own sort of energetic practices, or if you have someone in your world who can do this with you, find a way to go in and do some healing around rejection you have experienced, right? Bring forward that part of you that keeps you safe from rejection, right? That part of yourself that represents rejection for you. Have a conversation with them. Figure out what parts of yourself are you rejecting, and then practice shifting your perspective around rejection so that it's not, there's something wrong with me, I'm the problem, I'm not enough. It's a negative thing to be rejected. We want to shift it to, thank you for this opportunity. Right? Thank you for this opportunity to heal, to practice how I respond, and to learn what is not aligned for me. And the same for you when you practice the skill of rejection, because it's very important that you are practicing that skill also, that you are putting in boundaries and maintaining them, and that you are practicing rejection when things are no longer aligned for you. And it's the same thing. It's a thing to be grateful for, and it's hard and it's scary, and it's going to activate all of those physiological and biological patterns in our body, right? When we go experience a threat, right? When we have that perceived threat that, oh my God, if I tell this person, no, I'm going to die, right? That's going to happen. So we need to practice. How do we interrupt that pattern? And how do we shift our perspective around it? Because it is a really important skill, and it's actually awesome because it helps you learn what is aligned and what isn't aligned, right? And then also you can use it to reflect on, okay, well, in that situation, did I run my strategy and authority through my human design, right? Did I actually follow my strategy and authority? And what was the result of that as well? So rejection is super powerful, super wonderful, and is really, really beneficial and really, really vital to you if you are in this space of creating a fearless life, a fearless business, your true authentic success, all the things we're all about here in Fearless. So that is it for now. I love you. I hope you enjoyed that episode, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I really hope you received exactly what you needed from it. I absolutely loved sharing it with you. I'd also love to know what you thought, so please leave a comment or a review for me to respond to, or just come over and say hi on my socials. If you'd love to be a guest on the show, or maybe you have a question or a topic that you'd like me to talk about, then please send me a message. I absolutely love to connect. And really, this podcast is all about you. And your success. So tell me what you need to hear more of. If you really enjoyed this episode, please give it a like, or even better, send it to someone you know to spread the love. Let's get this authentic success movement happening. Okay, that's it from me. Big love. Now go out there and be amazing.